Salute, brothers. How y'all doing out there, man? I pray everyone is blessed, well, in good health. And yet again, as promised, Big Broden came through to bless your boy with some more information that he can break down and get to y'all as well. What am I talking about? Well, we got us another good old Machismo TV check-in show. We's letting everybody know what his experiences are in his new location. And he brought somebody along with him. Yeah, I know y'all brothers have heard the name mentioned before, but you don't know him. But you're about to learn him. Let me drop this off. Bang. Bring them up. Bang. And bang. There it is. Brothers, how y'all doing tonight?
Yo, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yo, what up?
What's going on, family? How you?
How you, man? I'm good. I'm starting to like these little weekly check-ins, man. Keep me on my toes. Actually, let me tell you this. I was actually hanging with Dre yesterday, from Love Crossing Borders. He came and scooped me. We hung out and just on some humbug shit. He was like, "Yeah, I heard you stream the other night, blah 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 blah," and I was like, "Word." And he was like, "Yeah." He was talking about last week's check-in show, and I'm like, "Word, you listen to that?" He was he was like, yeah, that was a really good stream. You talk about Colombia and everything. And he was like, yeah, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, he told me that last night. So yeah.
That's what's up.
So you yeah,
That's what's up.
people is definitely listen to the tracking calls.
Yo, you inspired a lot of people to go ahead and start really taking it serious if they weren't before. Like it's something that you mentioned some time ago that you broke down the whole plan, and now it's active and it's in effect and it's live. And bruh, for some people, they probably didn't. They probably thought you was bullshitting. I knew you wasn't bullshit because your plan sounded a whole lot like my plan, and now you done broke out and broke free. So you and your skill set, document and everything, yeah, can't nobody do it like you. They can't. Hands fucking down. It is what it is. But we got another brother on the panel. Would you mind introducing yourself, sir?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Contractor and Machismo. And I'm here to answer any questions, just have a regular chat with you, just like if all of us are sitting in a cigar lounge and just having a conversation. So I'm just here to brighten the room.
Understood. Understood. Well said. Well said. Well, um, you two brothers have known each other for a while, and Machismo has shouted you out on multiple occasions and spoken very highly of you, sir. So you do have my respect for everything you've um, helped get moving in the background. Uh, what I would like to know is what has your experience been abroad so far?
So just to give a little background about myself. Um, I came to United States um, in 2006. So I was not born and raised here. And the reason for me to say this, what I'm saying, is to kind of let you guys know that some of the answers or what I'm going to say may have a different tone to it because I grew up differently, came from a different culture, different mindset. But overall, I would say I grew up in a way that when I came to America, it was a little difficult for me to mesh with my own peers. Like I had a difficult time being around people my own age group. And that's because the values that I grew up on, the values that I was raised on, most people around me in my age group didn't value or honor those things. Not to say that there are not people who do that, but in my experience, that was not the case. And the reason for me to say that is that part of the reason why me and Machismo became friends was actually at a cigar lounge where I met him, and we connected right away uh, on some of the red pill content, you could say. But it was mostly me sharing my journey about how Kevin Samuels played a huge part in my life. So, and that's just kind of how a lot of people who are around me and in my circle, um, like we became friends, our brotherhood grew, and since then, like we all check on each other, we look out for each other, and we keep each other accountable because in brotherhood, that's what you do.
Hold up. You said something that I don't want you to speed past it. Um, from what I heard, from what I heard and comprehended, you weren't born here in the States, correct
I
or
was
incorrect?
not.
Okay, but after moving here to the States, you had difficulty um, dealing with the different thoughts and ideas of your peers because
Absolutely different culture, so it's a clash, I would say. And I think when people come to America, the idea that is promoted to everyone is to be part of the melting pot. So it's very much the idea in America that has been passed on for decades, that is to join or die. So um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I
Well,
so I had to ask myself, looking at what was around me, that what is okay to adapt and what is not okay to adapt. So I remained more of a salad bowl, I would say, and some of the values just didn't make much sense to me as to why I should adapt them.
well, even coming from well, let me. I have to ask the question: would you consider the culture you came from to be a patriarchal culture?
110%.
Okay. Now here's the other part the really big part. Even coming from a patriarchal culture, you once you got here to America stateside and you started well, getting immersed in all the bullshit that is here. Kevin Samuels was still able to reach out and give you a message too, even though you're
Bingo,
not from here.
bingo.
You know
I'm
what I'm
glad.
saying?
All right, bingo. Go ahead, contractor. Continue with that line of question because that's. I'm glad you caught that because that's actually how me and Naaman ended up bonding initially. He was a Kevin Samuels fan. I'm glad you checked on that. Like exactly, he's from Pakistan. He wasn't born in the States. But go ahead, do your line of questioning about the Kevin Samuels thing. I'll fall back. Perfect. Good segue.
No, my thing is, even though you weren't originally born here and from here, he still had an effect on you as well, because America has an effect on you also. So I'm not gonna lie. Kevin Samuels helped me see what the hell I was doing. I'm like, I'm a six-figure earner. I've been doing this shit for years. But I back home, I'm from DC. Everybody, makes a lot of money. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But he gave me the information I needed to help me get my mind right and be like, nope, I ain't dealing with this, because it is what it is. But it's amazing. I find it amazing you that you said that because it crosses um excuse me boundaries as far as race, culture. That man helped change the world. But the saddest part is, even though we helped change the world and influence people all around the world, they still danced on his grave. But that you already know, I get sour every time I talk about that machismo. But I'll leave that. I'll leave that there. But thank you, Naaman, for sharing that part. It's just the majority of us sometimes take our some of our greater leaders for granted until they're gone, and after they're gone, then they start singing their praises. But it is what it
Well,
is.
I would like to say that with any story, um, you have to sometimes look at some details that make a mark on a bigger picture. And in Kevin Samuel's case, I would say, even though being a black man and although his message was mainly towards the black community to bring them together, but his message resonated with a lot of different people. Because if you're living in America, um, Kevin Samuels, I would say, talked a lot about things that fundamentally, if you look in other communities as well, if you live in America or you are anywhere where Western ideology has, um, you know, got in there, you will see certain problems that people see here in America. So when Kevin started highlighting some of those things, it it started to like give me a wake up call that while I was living here, because when I was in college, when I came here, and even in high school, I didn't go through the whole process of what the culture here practices, such as dating. So, because of how people were dating and what I used to see, that was very interesting to me that, like how people go about that. And then listening to him on the show and just starting to see some of the issues and problems he was talking about, not just from men's side, but just societal. That's when it started to click in my head that, okay, now I can understand why these problems are actually becoming more and more global, because wherever a particular mindset is exercised, those problems starts to seep in.
See,
And
it's
go
a.
ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off, just real quick. It's an old saying: "When in Rome, do as the Romans." Right? Here's the problem: they ain't doing nothing good. So eventually, it poisons your mind. You know what I'm saying? And your belief systems. But that's what it was designed to do. It was designed to put certain ideals and beliefs in people's heads that ain't quite right. And if given enough time, well, then it'll look a whole lot like what's going over here
Well,
back home.
I would back up what you're saying from just a simple fact that one thing that in America or just Western countries, which is pretty common, even in dating, let's say, is the age disparity, right? And when you go to other cultures and other countries, you notice that the age disparity is not that big of an issue, because a man is expected to do what a man should do and has to do, which is to be responsible for a woman and for a family. So age disparity is not kind of frowned upon. However, if you see Western countries, it is frowned upon. And if you watch a lot of the interviews and things Kevin did with women, a lot of women would come up and say, "Hey, I want a man who basically takes care of me 100%," as to say that, "Hey, I have all the provisioning and protection from this man." And to which Kevin used to say, "Okay, well, that's fine. But do you understand what it takes to get that type of man and what demographic that man is going to be?" And that's where a lot of pushback was thrown at his face because of what the culture and society has been practicing for so far, and that is the so-called norm. But the issue lies in the question and what people are asking for, and that's what kind of becomes the oxymoron. Like a 23 or 24-year-old woman wants a peer to date, which is going to be somebody around the same age group, maybe an age gap of 3 to 4 years, or maybe maximum 5 years. But you want all these resources accessible to you from a man of that age group, which is only going to happen if he is either a celebrity, an athlete, or somebody who has a very high social status at a young age. Most men are not going to get to that stage until they're in their 30s and 40s, based on to provide that sort of a lifestyle. So,
See,
but women would say they do not want to date or marry someone that of that much age difference, but that's what it takes. And if you see other countries and cultures, that is completely acceptable.
well,
So where I came from, it was normal.
if you notice here in the West, it's only an age disparity when it's the woman who's younger and the man that's older. But it let one of these old cougars get her and net her a younger man, and she's the hottest shit walking. You know what I'm saying? It's it's always one sided. Like the scales are never set in your favor. They're never balanced. You know what I mean? And
As
that shit shows a lot.
as a man, I don't think we care about what the double standards are. We understand as men that what we need to do to get things done. So what older women do or what like they do, I don't think that's just noise. I don't think that's something we care that much about. If that's what they want to do, go ahead, do it, because we understand at the end of the day, like that's just a castle on the sand, and the moment the waves come, it's going to wash away. So it it there's nothing to talk about it. It's not something stable.
Exactly. Exactly. But Cheesebo, you want to jump in?
No, no, y'all were doing good. I like the line of questioning you took with Naaman. And and as far as the Kevin Samuels thing, Naaman's told me this story before, but on the tail end of the stream, I want to double back and then have him. You can ask him to have him tell a story about really because he's told me this numerous times. I've actually had this conversation with Saul. Because I was making the point, like we were making a point about Kevin Samuels' impact, and I was saying, like, the homie Naaman, he's considerably younger than me. I was like, but and I didn't know this. He had told me this out of the blue about basically how listening to Kevin essentially changed the entire trajectory of his life. And so the version of Naaman that I met at the cigar bar was not the version of himself that he was prior to listening to Kevin. I was blown away when he told me. It was like, it was a sincere, um, it was like a sincere conversation. I mean, we were talking about our lives and where we wanted to go and stuff like that. And he was just saying how influential, and I was blown away. I was like, damn, it just didn't occur to me. I mean, I knew Kevin was globally influential, but to meet someone personally that had a real like life transforming um, effect from Kevin's content. Um, and they're Pakistani. They weren't born in the States. I mean, you see why with this conversation with Naaman, that's another reason we get along. Naaman's considerably younger than I am, but because he was born in Pakistan and he was basically raised in a patriarchal society, all of this red pill talk that we have down here, it's like second nature to him. He's like, duh, of course. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we be talking, it's like it's useful in our conversation when I had conversations with him about a lot of stuff because he thinks like a patriarchal man. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I like a lot of shit. He just like absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the nonsense we be dealing with the chicks, in particular the black community, because Naaman dates black girls too. So there's the shit he's just not going for at all. It's like it doesn't even occur to him to entertain it or shit. We be laughing about it. And then you know what I'm saying? So like that being uh the patriarchal environment for a man like is actually a real thing. We're not like blowing smoke in the wind when we have these conversations because the homie name is like an example of that, like someone actually born in a patriarchal society. So a lot of the stuff we're rehashing, um do you know what I'm saying, around these gender issues and stuff like that, it's just a non-existent thing in like in a patriarchal society. Like they just don't put up with that shit.
Shout out to Mr. Me Too. He's absolutely correct. I
Oh, you said,
watched.
Oh,
Oh yeah, Mr. Me Too with the $5 $57 super chat. He says, "We so far from the norm. Men are killing themselves to build a delusional world around these old birds. Hashtag support Black Men Media. Hashtag DOV. Hashtag BIW. And hashtag I'm fargin' with it. Hell yeah, salute." Phil Waff in the motherfucking building. What up, Slipknot? What up, Cortez Smith? I see you.
Yeah,
We're so far.
I just
Oh,
want
go
to
ahead.
say our I just want to say our senses in the chat just want to wish him well and good health. Like he was recently in an accident, so I'm hoping everything is okay. We need him to be okay, and there is so much more that like I have such great respect for Theo because of what he's doing and the lives he's changing. So just like Kevin, I have huge amount of respect for Theo for what he's doing for people.
Yo, salute. I'm glad you said that name. Yeah, I messaged Theo earlier. He said he's good. He's recouping. Um, Once again, because Naaman's in class 6 with me with Theo. I got Naaman in the class. He went to the conclave. Once again, guys, Naaman's Pakistani. So this is like a head nod to be like what the brothers are building. It's legit. Um, Theo's class, the effect of Kevin Samuels. So even though a lot of our conversations are like internal, um, but bear in mind that the Black Manosphere is outgrowth of the Manosphere proper. Anyway, but basically, like the conversations that we're having in terms of, to a large degree, being thought leaders, resonates and reverberates with all men globally. So, aside from in particular cultural nuance, the conversations that these serious conversations that Black men are having with regard to politics, social norms, uh, and things of that nature, are global. These conversations, and they have effect. And shout out to Kevin Samuels.
No, no, I totally agree. It's amazing to see this much progress in this short amount of time. And every time that I get on with you and other brothers, I'm always amazed, man. Because if you listen to Keisha and them, ain't none of this real. Ain't none of this really happening. Theo is an imaginary character. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying?
Theo is an
Versus,
imaginary character. Facts. He's not a millionaire. What are you talking about?
yeah, he right there though. He right
Once
there.
again, for the record, guys, Theo is fucking rich, like 7-figure rich. For all you hating
Yeah.
ass ninjas that be popping up out of nowhere.
Give me
Go
one
ahead,
second. I
Contract.
gotta
Go
do
ahead,
something
Contract.
really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please feel free to take over.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
My show's your
Um,
show. Go ahead.
oh yeah, oh all right, bet, no doubt. Naaman,
Yes.
whatchamacallit? Why don't you talk real while we wait for Contractor to get back? Theo's in the chat. Um, uh, Machismo TV as a network, as a brand, as an entity have done a good job of running a lot of the naysayers off of Theo's back. I officially barked on dudes, and then me and Saul went everywhere and trolled a lot of these dudes like Gay Bay and stuff like that. You're a computer engineer, etc., etc. We don't need to say what you do, security clearance as such, but um, tell people, since you're not a black man, what's your impression of Theo's boot camp and classes? We've talked at length about it. I mean, shit, we just had a conversation, I think, yesterday about the amount of work and everything that needs to be done and refocusing. So all right, we'll participate in the class, but focus on these certs. So, say something briefly about that, about Theo's class and your experience.
Well, well, what I would say is people who joined early, in Theo's classes. I think they pretty much won the lottery because the amount of knowledge and network that you have access to grow um, within the industry itself. Plus, you have people around you who can coach and guide you to help you build into that career. I think it takes people going to college and universities, having the social skills, being around the right factors and environments to be able to, you know, get a piece of that. And I think just to be in Theo's group gives you access to all of those things. There are fantastic people in Theo's group that you can connect with. And the best part is so many people in there started just like many that who don't know anything. And that's why people in there will help you grow. They will be there to push you. They will be there to kind of guide you if there is something you need help with. And most of all, I would say is that you have brothers around you where you can go and talk to. I think personally, something I see in a society that's a problem is that a lot of times what I've noticed in the West that men when they feel lonely, I guess, or you could say they need some form of validation or some form of bonding, they lean towards women. Whereas what they need is a support group, their brothers, to kind of keep them in check and keep them focused on the purpose that they're trying to achieve in life. And I think being in the group also serves that purpose, which I think a lot of men today need. Um, but I would say that being in Theo's group is really a blessing, and the work Theo is doing is no less than I would say an evangelist, an IT evangelist. Like he is helping people not only to take care of their loved ones and but also for people to build a life and live the life that they want to live and be free. I think today a lot of people who people are starting to realize today that they're not free. I think um, for most people, like having like a mortgage, taking care of this, taking care of that, you are bounded to the system just like most people who are just here. I think if somebody is free, they're free of all these bonds, and because of that, you can go anywhere in the world and live wherever you want to live. And I think that is the type of freedom you can achieve through the group and with Theo. So that's why when me and you talked about it last year when you were doing GCP, I wish I could have got in with you at that time, but I couldn't because I had a lot of obligations to take care of. And me personally at work, they keep pushing me to keep moving up the chain of command, and I'm trying to hold on to that because like I'm trying to do something that is going to allow me to live the life that I want to live. And as of right now, I'm very grateful for what I'm doing. I'm happy with it, but the goal is for me to uh, go overseas because living overseas, if you guys have ever actually tried to do that, it really makes you realize like what potential you could actually reach. So and it's just good to be in an environment where some of the challenges and issues we see here as a society, which isolates you, you don't tend to have those issues over there. Plus, just the overall family structure and culture is just better. So,
No, facts, facts. Yeah, that well played, sir. Well played. Contractor, you back, Playboy?
Yeah, I'm sorry I had to deal with an annoying neighbor because it's amazing when we all start talking and building and really figuring things out. You got that one motherfucker. But I'm trying my best to keep my composure and deal with the brother on a level that I should deal with him.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
on
yeah.
some, you know. But anyway,
Oh yes.
accent turning me
Saul in the
down.
building. You see him? Saul in the building.
What up, y'all?
There you go.
What up, big boy? Soul, if you want to come up, I'll drop the link again for you, bro. Hell, shit, Theo, if you want to come up, I'll drop the link for you.
Oh
That ain't
yeah,
about me,
Phil want to come up. Yeah,
you know? Because at the end of the day, I think a lot of what you and Naaman have gotten beyond is that whole pretenders syndrome. You know what I'm saying? You see it, you can go out to the market and grab a mango and it's real, it's right in front of you. And then you're in a whole nother country. It's giving you a lot of what Theo has done has helped giving you um, the fuel you needed to go ahead and just jump out there because you're like, I know I'm gonna be good. And a lot of brothers they get that pretenders or imposters syndrome. I said it wrong. Imposter syndrome, and they like and then they stop right there.
fact.
So to hear two brothers chop it up that's in Theo's class, that's actively doing the work, bruh, it's fucking amazing.
And
And
Um,
Naaman's not going to say it because he's humble, but Naaman is like a high level computer engineer. Like if you know the shit that he works on, and then you know, I watch him upgrade his skills all the time, like all different certs. Like, bro, like so. What I'm saying, so if Naaman is saying this shit about Theo's class because like like Armageddon the 1 and 1.2 just passed. And like David was like, this shit is I gotta get all this shit done. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he's already a certified computer engineer. So you know what I'm saying? So that's like how legit Theo shit is, you feel me?
facts, facts. Well, yet again, he said it. Naaman said it himself. He's more or less doing the work of an evangelist. And y'all can keep playing around if you want to. Uh-uh. You can't
no,
depend
I
on this
mean
always being around. You know what I mean? Somebody that's
the
willing to
amount of
really put that in.
I would say in Theo's class, the amount of resources you have access to, like people should be like really like thank him for that because um, he exposes you to so many different things that it would literally take you a while, especially even if you're in office and you're like just shadowing someone or you're learning from someone. The amount of time it will take you for someone to show you all that, it, like it's about 6 months or more. Like, but if you're in Theo's class, you can catch up onto that like within a month or two. So because he has given you already all the resources, so if you know what you're trying to do, you can do all that. Saul, what's up? I see you in the chat. Um, also, like I just want to say this towards machismo since I'm on this call and I heard your guys' previous calls. Um, when I met Machismo in the cigar lounge, I remember how excited he was showing me his channel, and and I remember also at that time, like how low he was feeling with everything that was going on in his life because of the shift in his career. And I told him this at that time. I said, bro, sometimes life throws us a different curveball um, because there's something new coming in our life. There's a new chapter coming in our life, and I think that's what you need to embrace. So if that is going to be content creation, you changing your industry from finance to technology, then it's just something you just embrace. And I told him even at that time, I said, bro, just keep doing what you're doing. You will do good. Just be patient and keep putting in the work. And from that day, having that conversation in the lounge and having this conversation today on live with all of you guys is a testament
Man,
of that. If you put your time in, you put your effort, you have people who believe in you, and you keep doing what needs to be done, there is no way that you cannot accomplish it. So right now, I just wish him all the best, and I know that he's going to keep growing, and the subscribers are growing. Everything like so far around him is in a good position. So I wish him nothing but the best.
Name it. I got a question. Have me and you ever talked before?
Not over the phone. I've been in the chat throwing jokes here and there,
Right,
uh,
right.
but yeah, but not
It,
not in person.
see, where I come from, we speak a little different because it's a mixture of slang, ebonics, and proper English, and it just all gets mixed into a big ass pot. I told Machismo something very similar. What I've learned in life in 41 years after going all over the world and doing a lot of similar things, um, as him, similar, not the same, similar, that I found in life, if you don't move, life will move you. It'll put you in a position where you have to make a move. And oftentimes that's the best move for you. So I get being down about the situation, but don't worry about that. Don't trip off that shit, cuz it's gonna be all right. You're gonna be just fine. You're gonna be just fine. Things happen. And now he done gone down to Colombia and got all brolic and shit. He running. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be that. I'm pretty sure he gonna do a video with him running through the mountains, and y'all gonna see all that. You'll see it. You'll see it. You'll see it.
And
But
and that's what I'm saying. All these transitions are
mm,
going to be an experience in his life, and if he gets to share that on the channel, that everybody can see, it's good. But at the time, when I got the message from Quiet Storm at the conclave, and me and Quiet Storm were talking. Um, I told Quiet Storm how he is. I said, look, he's too stubborn, so he's not going to just do this or that. There's going to be a a way for us to um, like push him to basically, let's say, move to Colombia. And like I gave him a plan, and I said, look, this is going to work out for you. And the little variables, Machismo keep bringing up, like, what about this? If what this happens, I'm like, look, the back door of this thing is already figured out. Don't worry about it. Just get on the plane. And he's like,
hold
how I'm
up,
gonna get on the plane? I'm like, don't worry, you'll get on the plane.
hold
So
up, hold up,
uh,
hold up. Your quote has become famous now. You're not going back. You're not going
no,
back.
no, I say don't bring your ass back.
Salute, Theo. How you doing? How you doing, sir? How you doing?
I'm good. I always remember 1997 August, and my ticket was one way to Japan. And I didn't recognize the gravity of my decision until I was in the air over the Pacific. And then I understood that the only way I would ever come back is if I made a life for myself in Japan. And this was it. There was no bailout for me. I was going to Japan. This was my life. And so I sympathize with you when you're talking about what about this and what about that problem. For me, it's like I crashed in Japan, and I had to figure out, well, what am I going to do next? Like tomorrow, what am I going to do? Because I can't get back home. I'm stuck here, and I had to make something of myself. So I understand your fear about it. I understand your feeling an ambivalence about being abroad. If you're able to do this with brothers, it makes life a lot easier. People who know you, people who are like, hey, we're gonna help you out. You have opportunities for getting that cloud job, right? So you got all these resources in the class. This is actually wonderful for me. It was like, here you go, land Monday morning. Here's where you're supposed to be at work. You better be there on time. That was it. So I was there on time. So I feel you.
Contractor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, we got a super sticker from Mr. Me Too, $3, man. So thank you for supporting the stream. Pleasure to have you, Theo. Me and Naaman be talking about you all the time.
Yeah, thank you. I enjoy the good words. Regarding the class was designed in this way, the way that you're currently seeing it. So what I thought was for the first class, they were going to pay the highest price, but they would get the biggest dividend. So their class was free. I paid for everything. I paid $40,000 of my own money to host the first conclave, and they got like all of my energy basically. And my view was, if I put these guys together and I believe in them and I lead them towards the path, and I basically make it so that they can work next to me or they can replace me at a job. If that's my goal, then I think I could do this. And I'm confident in myself that I can teach properly. And I'm confident in the men in the class that they can actually get into the office and get those jobs. So it was a lot of faith and confidence. That was the whole thing. And that first class worked, right? And what I recognized was that the students in the beginning would be looking at me and saying, like, I did it because of XYZ, all these various reasons. But if the students started certifying, they would not look at me, they would look at their colleague. So what I wanted them to do was forget me and just I'm a leader, just helping them out. But they're only thinking about their friends, and as their friends get jobs, they would only be thinking about them as well. Then, when I have a next class and a next class, more guys would come back to help out a little bit. So I had to change the structure of the class for 3 and 4, make it more intense. But every time I did that, I recognized that I could teach more specifically and that the students could take even more material. So I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's really give it to them. With class 6 and, with class 5, 5.5, and now 6, the amount of material we have right now is unbelievable. It's like a full-on like institution or university level. I can literally say like, hey, look, I want you to go watch this video on this topic. Go there. It's in this folder. Or these books, I want you to go there and read them. They're for free. You don't have any excuse. Go read them. And then I'd be like, okay, you have a class leader now. I want you to work with your class leader and do this work. And that wasn't even possible with the first class. But now it is. So I can push through even more complicated and difficult tasks. And you see what's happening in the class? Everyone's blossoming. There are some people who die and fail, which is true. But there are some who just keep on taking it and they want more. And I thought, yeah, that's it. If black men have that opportunity and somebody believes in them, they will continue hardcore and they will go all the way into the end. And that's what a lot of us don't have when we're growing up. We don't have somebody, particularly a black male, in our lives who says, I know what you're trying to do. I'm here for you and I believe in you. Now, let's get the work done. So that's what I've done so far, and it's worked.
Spot on. And we're, I'm glad. Wow, you hit it right on the head, Theo. Because every time I bring the class up, I reiterate the point that it's not even so much the class, it's your method of teaching, and you've developed a method of disseminating information. But at the same time, um, it works for someone with no computer experience to someone at Naaman's level of expertise, and everyone feels the, oh my God, there's so much work, but then they buckle in. And then Naaman can comment on this because it's funny what you were saying about. I always say that it you've cultivated an environment of positive reinforcement, but a competitive environment
Mhm.
based on positive reinforcement via your peers. Like there's you who's leading the ship and saying here's this, but it's when it's breaking down into groups, and because you set up the system for people to post their certifications, whether they passed or failed, it creates like this weird, it's like high school peer pressure, but like the good peer pressure. And Naaman could attest to this because it's funny. Because I'm always like every day, like, oh my God, somebody posted another cert. Can you believe it? And then I'm always like, we gotta start studying. We gotta start doing these practice exams because like the peer pressure is like you end up being like that guy got a cert too. Oh, this is ridiculous. Let me hurry up and get this done. And yo, ask David every day. I'm bitching, not bitching, but I'm like, yo, you see somebody else posted another cert, right? Did David tell him?
Yeah, I mean, I tried telling him. I said, look, it's one thing to be competitive and have a competitive spirit in you, which is a good thing to keep pushing yourself forward. And I mean, that's how you sharpen yourself. But at the same time, you also have to be realistic with yourself as well. So me and Machismo, like we actually talked about it like, hey, look, listen, how about every day we catch up on and do some practice test questions and this and that to align for the test, and then like by within the month of January we try to knock out the cert for SAA. So but you obviously make a goal for yourself and you work towards it. Life always throws something at you, like this happens, you get sick, something else happens, somebody passes away, like life is always throwing something at you, so you just got to improvise with what's going on.
Yeah, get hit by a car.
I was going to say that, but didn't want to say it.
No, that's fine. You get hit by a car, you die. Your parents can die, right? How many people in our families have died during this class 6? This has just been huge, the amount of people. And you go child support payments. I have one student right now in jail.
What?
And we're trying to figure out if we can help get the guy out of jail. I'm talking with other prisoners in other states. They actually have cell phones in jail, and they're aware not only of you but also Obsidian, BGS, and others, and they know about me. And they're asking me for books and other materials so they can study while they're in jail.
Wow. Okay, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's going on.
That's the level of influence. That's crazy. Go ahead, Theo. I stepped on your time.
Yeah. No, that's okay. So I mean, I'm working, and I, if that's going to give somebody just a little bit more hope, okay, fine, I'll do it. And it's not hard to do at all. And then look at what I'm doing. Like, I'm not using anybody else's money. I'm just using my own money. And we do charge a fee, but largely speaking, if I'm doing this right now, it's me. If I'm not paying it out of my own pocket, and I'm like, why wasn't this done earlier? This is actually very easy to do. The structure is easy, but it goes against the narrative, because what I say is, you're a black man and I believe in you, and we can do this together. What you see what the liberals have, that is not their narrative at all. Nope. It's the black woman can do it, not us.
Facts. Yo, Contractor, let me read Saul's super chat. Saul with the $5 super chat. He said, stop being polite about it, Theo. Theo got a gladiator school. I know he kick all y'all in the chest like, this is Sparta. Facts. No, but Theo, the prison outreach or more so, the prison reaching out to you. I didn't even know that. That's major. And you saying that the prisoners population knows about BGS and a lot of the content creators in this space. Yo, quiet as kept, man. We're a sleeping giant, and I mean we've already seen with the presidential election how important we were to getting Trump elected. Guys, keep making the content, keep having these conversations. Like I said, we're winning with cell phones and laptops.
I view it as completely necessary for black men to be leaving the United States. Particularly self-aware, educated black men are black men who understand what's going on. I would say essentially the Malcolm X types, the ones who woke up, they became aware, and they're like, hey, look, I'm going to educate myself, I'm going to question the system, and then I'm gone. I think this is going to be one of the biggest pipeline historically of black men out of the United States. And who knows which country. I mean, Colombia is definitely a leading candidate. But there's going to be a lot of guys leaving and saying, this is it, we're done.
I agree completely. Being down here in Colombia, I'm in my apartment. Like I said, this apartment, one, it's beautiful, and I finally got a place where the internet's not spotty. I mean, I said this to Naaman, I said it to Saul, and I said it to Contractor the other day. It's modern. I'm working just like I was working in Philly now. Like, I'm back on my schedule. Like, I'm in front of the computer almost 8-9 hours a day between studying for the SAA 3 exam and making content for the channel, and just nothing's changed. I'm just in another country. Sometimes I don't even realize that I'm in Colombia until I step out of my door and I'm like, oh shit, I'm in another country. Do you know what I mean?
But isn't that wonderful?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it? So you have your normal life and you're doing your normal goals, you're pursuing normal goals, and then you open the door and it's like you're teleported.
Exactly. That's exactly how it feels. Like, you guys know I did 6 seasons before I came down here. This is the beginning of season 7, the content we're doing for the channel. So I did that straight. So I'll tell you, like, no sleep. Like, this is my first rest in 6 seasons. And we do 24 to 25 episodes a season. You do the math, right? So that's the schedule I was on. Plus, I was interviewing for jobs, taking certs. I mean, 6 rounds of interviews. I changed from banking over to business analyst, project management, then jumped into Theo's joint. So I had to completely change my the field that I was in because Biden killed the banks. So that's the mode I've been on.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
That hurt me also.
Yeah.
I did not like Biden. Yeah, okay. Continue.
Yeah, he killed the banks.
Agreeing with you.
Yeah, completely killed them. But we didn't get TARP money this time. So now I'm here in Colombia, and like I said, it's you build like a muscle with habits. So like now that I'm in my Dolo apartment, I got my schedule. It really does. It feels like the same way I did in Philly, just work. And what Theo said, you'd be feeling like you're teleported. I'd be like, oh shit, I gotta get something to eat. I'll see the sun going down on my balcony and shit. I'll take everything down. I'll walk down the stairs, and as soon as I pull out the big key to open the gate, I'm like, oh shit. I step out. I'm in Colombia, but you know what I'm saying? Your mind, your subconscious mind, like, thinks you're in Philly because you've been doing it so long. It's because I'm doing the same task, editing videos, looking, let me take an hour, study my Udemy, go back to producing, and then like boom, I'm walking down the street like, damn, I'm in Colombia, running into traffic and shit. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and then let me think about that. So you're also probably able to go out and get some food, and the food is healthy.
Extremely.
And people treat you with respect. Nobody looks at you weird, and you're respected as a man. And you're like, wait a minute, like, whoa, what is this? Some sort of Twilight Zone, right?
No, 100%. I was saying it's the I was saying it's the Naaman the other day, and Saul. Bro, I'm so settled in. I'm approaching 2 months down here. First 3 weeks or so, and luckily, once again, let's just talk about the brothers. The dude that was next to me, my neighbor Ty. Actually, I just talked to him before I got on. He's flying to Panama tomorrow for 90 days, right? So I rolled with him. He's Air Force. He was and he's been 10 years in cybersecurity, working remote, making $250K a year. He's younger than me also, but I ran around with him for 3 weeks, just getting the lay of the land and everything. So I'm here dolo now by myself. I got people I can call and hang out with, but I like it this way. Like, I'm in my own little world. I'm just working every day. And it's like, I was saying to Naaman, like, bro, I could do 6 months down here, like, standing on my head, like it's nothing now. Like, dolo, not even think about it. It's crazy.
Bro. Let me just jump in real quick. Red signal. Yes, you're right. I'm gonna tell you something, Machismo. You're absolutely right. Biden killed the banks. It's even affecting me and my industry now. And this shit, the insurance company pays me. Well, no one's filing claims because they ain't got no money to pay. He has wrecked everything. Like everything what's happening down in Los Angeles right now. That's the economy. It's just burning away, man. It's
Facts.
fucking terrible.
Facts. Very good metaphor. Exactly. And you know what? And it's apropos that it happened at right when Trump's about to get sworn in at the end of Biden's term. It's apropos. Like God's got a sense of humor, man, because you can't make this shit up. God's got a sense of humor.
Yo, thank you for helping the brothers in the manner that you've done it. Because if you got people from behind bars reaching out, that tells me that you have garnered the attention and respect of everybody that got melanin in their skin down there that are men. And it doesn't matter what Keisha and them are talking about. What matters is the fact they're passing these certs. So, I remember you said on another show, I don't remember who, no, it was on Machismo show. You said they don't care if you got F's on your record. They don't care about that. Can you do the work? And when you said that, you lit a fuse. You lit a fuse, sir. And them people were listening. So everything you built thus far is just going to keep growing, man. It's the I forgot what they call it, ripple effect, butterfly effect. I can't remember. Long story short,
Domino
you
effect.
domino effect. You threw that big ass boulder into the pond, and now everything's starting to go. It's all starting to go. We all coming. We all coming your way, cuz we all coming your way. But I'm gonna get quiet again, and I'm gonna let everybody who's actually out of the country and not stuck here like my ass is right now keep chopping up. Y'all enjoy.
Look, I'm still stuck here. I just wrote out my plan for how I'm going to leave, and it's going to be very different from how I did it in '97. That's because I'm bringing my gym equipment with me, so I have to actually have infrastructure to do it. And I'm like, I'm not leaving my infrastructure. I'm not leaving my gym equipment back. So I've got good gym equipment, so I'm taking it with me. And some people think I'm crazy, and I'm like, I don't care. I've got the money for it. I'm doing it. So this is the only time that I'll use my money like this. I'm like, hey,
I'm not gonna let Phil get away with that light flex, right? When Phil talk about gym equipment, because I'm in his, he's got a Belisara gym Facebook group, but in a conclave. So when Phil be saying gym equipment, Phil's talking about custom made gym equipment, and he'll be posting shit like, "Yeah, I just got this made for 20 grand." They're shipping it over. So that's why I feel is like I gotta take my gym equipment with me. He's not talking about like he went down to fucking Walmart and got some fucking dumbbells and shit. He's getting custom made 20 grand, 10 grand, like machines made for himself. That's why I be telling y'all, Phil's fucking rich. And I'm only saying that for the playback and all that for all the naysayers, because we stifled a tremendous amount of them. But at some point, once I got in the 5.5 class and I was on like these different streams and these trolls and these goofies was popping up in the chat, I was feeling some type of way about it. So me and Saul decided that we going to go troll the trolls and we going to get them up out of here. And we have successfully done so thus far. It's been a lot less jaw jabbing regarding Theo and the work he's doing here, because it's like what Kevin used to say, put it on the wood, show your work. Y'all motherfuckers was just talking, and we got receipts over here, so like y'all wasn't even really qualified to speak on certain shit. You know what I'm saying? If Theo was going to be modest and not address it directly, just let somebody who don't mind the smoke do it. You feel me?
Yeah. So what I'm going to be doing is, what I figured is just make the gym and set it up, and then let people see it, and then say, this is only available for Black Western men or men in our group. Maintenance, of course, is included. So, it's only for us. That's it. And it's going to be expensive. So, I'll give you one vendor. One vendor is Leica. It's from Sweden. Their headquarters is here. The U.S. headquarters is here in Austin. I'm going to be doing a $50,000 order with Leica for gym equipment, and that's just like one small section of what I'm going to be building. Then, when I bring it to either Brazil or Colombia, I'm going to have to pay a 35% tariff, and I'll be able to do that with cash. And so I'll have a facility created, and then I'll just bring it over and set it up. And I'll be able to have workers actually come in and construct and put it together for me. And I'm like, yeah, this is the only time I'll actually flex. It'll be in something like this, because I want to have this environment where it's like a third place where brothers can come together and they can work out on the best gym equipment that they would have back home. So you guys are doing you guys are make money, you're making six figures, right? You're doing high quality cloud work. And then afterwards, hey, you want to go to a gym? There it is. You got Theo's gym right there. The membership is zero. Walk right on it. You got a Lego, Rogue, Prime Fitness, Kanata, Salt Fitness, Salt Strength. We got the big mainline gym equipment makers are right there. And you guys can go ahead and exercise all you want. I think it's perfect for us.
Spot on. Let me piggyback on that. Cause
Hold on.
exactly.
We
Go
we
ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
we gotta acknowledge a lot of times Theo just politely flexes about everything,
Facts.
and it's like no big deal.
Yeah.
Facts. And I want to piggyback on that, like, because what feels, I made the comment on the last two check-in shows about the brothers that I've ran into down here, and it just blows your mind. Well, one, because a lot of them are younger than me, and I'm always on the damn. But once you move out of the country, you're like, man, I should have did this 10 years ago. You feel like
Mhm.
that, especially when you run into all these dudes younger than you, and they're like, yeah, I've been doing this the last 5 years. You're like, damn it, right? So there's that. But what Theo just said too is regarding infrastructure, and that's what I want to piggyback on, like, because we know the content creators we see regarding travel and everything, and that's what you see visual, and you need that because it gets the information out here. But the level of brothers I've been running into are the guys you don't see and how they're operating, and then how Theo's just talking is like, um, so you got the cloud boot camps that he's been running. This is class 6. So we're talking about 6 rotations. That's an infrastructure thing. It's intellectual capital. It's intellectual property. We have KPIs where we can track certs. We can track salaries. So it's actionable, and we have receipts in that. And then what he's talking about with setting up his third place, and so bear in mind, he said, all the guys that are certed and working and making 6 figures. So that implies a network. And him now, see, I moved Dolo. A lot of guys moved Dolo, but Phil's talking about moving and, to lack of a better word, setting up a facility or such, but basically like a base camp or a safe house where all the guys that have acquired the skills, they're mobile. You got a place to go in this country, and like I said, he's got a gym set up and stuff like that. I recently gave Naaman, when I left, my copy of Nomad Capitalist. Um, his book. I bought it for myself. I hadn't had a chance to read it, but we follow him on YouTube. But I gave it to Naaman because Naaman's of that same mind also with regard to set it. I think set it out. He's looking at Kenya, and like our conversations are just. I mean, we're traveling now. We're checking out countries, but my conversations with Naaman are around like, okay, I'm going to set up shop here. This is what I'm going to build out. I'm going to get my cars shipped over there because he's got like a Chevelle. He's got some classic muscle cars. So
Mhm.
like this is the layer of the conversation that with regard to men in travel, black men in particular, that sometimes isn't had, that you got guys operating on a high level, and then until you see it with your own eyes, it's almost like you don't even know that world exists. The initial part of we're still stuck at the initial part of the conversation of, hey, bro, get your passport. Do you understand what I'm saying? That doesn't include the ticket, where you're going to fly to, and everything else. Then when you land and touch down, you're seeing guys like, yeah, this. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been doing this for
Yeah.
10 years. I ran into a guy yesterday. He's been down in Colombia, lived here for 4 years. Older gentleman. No, well, not that much older, but and he's just dressed regular. You would never know. And I'm talking to him, and he's like, I'm like, what do you do for the remote income? And he was like, oh, I'm in healthcare. And he was actually like, yo, I got to go home and because it's on different time zones. He's like, I got to go home and get on the call. He's making $23,000 a month.
Hmm.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And you're like, I was like, are you serious? And that's what I'm saying. Like you see, like a lot of the travel content creators, and it's like, do this on the budget and do this on that. But there's the other layer of guys that down here, and they're making fucking money, and it's money that if they were living in the U.S., they'd still be good. But they're in places like this, so it's like they're literally living like kings. You can't even imagine. Twenty-three
And this
thousand
is
dollars a month living in Colombia. Are you crazy, bro?
and
23,000 a month is cute. Just remember.
Yeah. But everybody working to get to your status still. But yeah, just an idea of the numbers. Go ahead, Naaman. I stepped on your time.
no. I was just gonna say to that point, and this is where it goes to say that if you're truly free and you are in United States or any Western country and you are completely free, it makes no sense for you not to be overseas. And I
Facts.
think people who have that freedom, they make that choice. I think there are so many now new interviews or people making just videos of people who are Gen Zs, and that's what they're saying. They're saying, "Hey, I talk to people if I do get a chance to socialize or talk to someone because people don't even do that anymore. And if I do talk to someone and somebody who has the option to leave, they're leaving. Nobody's sticking around." And this goes back to earlier what I was telling you, Machismo, that even back in the day when the British were on both sides of the globe, and the wealthy who could afford the servants and the services that they could get in England or United Kingdom, the soldiers who were working at the time for the British like empire, they wanted to be deployed and be in other countries because they understood that being in other countries gave them a better life, and they wanted to stay there as long as they could because they knew that if they would come back they would not have these services that they had living overseas.
No, that's facts. Yo, contractor, you want to jump in here?
Actually, I get where you come from. I'm enjoying the conversation. Like I dropped for a hot second and I had to bring it back up, but literally, I'm loving hearing y'all chop it up because I can say get your passport, get your blue, or get your blue book and go all day, but I'm just one man speaking because I was an expat. Y'all are walking, talking, living proof of it. So it's it validates everything I said already. And then when you have somebody like Theo on the panel, oh yeah, $20,000 worth of gym equipment. Yes, sir.
No,
Yes, sir.
that's one. No, that's one piece of equipment.
I'm sorry.
That's
Forgive me.
one piece of equipment. He be
My
posting the
apologies.
drugs, and we be in the drawer like, yeah, you just spent 20 grand on that. I'm like, yeah, what chump change?
My
No,
apologies.
I'm
20K
bringing
in one piece.
$400,000 worth of gym equipment to the other country.
Good Lord. There it is. There it
that
is.
that gym is going to be so nice you don't need to go to the club. That is the club.
Yeah, I want it to be a haven. So when you go in there, it feels like you're home, and it's gonna have like a lot of like I don't know artifacts from home in there. And I just want you to have this small period of time in which you have excellent equipment. It You can feel like you could do anything, and it's just all you. And there is some weirdo in there. And what Irvin is saying, you can bring your. If I'm in Colombia, then you're Colombiana. From Brasilia, you're Brasileira. You can bring her in there as long as you take responsibility for it. So if she's talking crazy, okay, we got a little combo. But if it's just doing her exercise, and it's fine. I don't have a problem with it. I
Here,
will allow.
here.
Go ahead.
If she gets out of line, we'll just throw her to the Chewbacca.
Yes, I will have the Chewbacca in the class in the gym, and I will be doing that. I want to have decor in there. Basically, I want the gym to be so good that the top level athletes in whatever city I go to, they're asking to come in and to be a member. And
But Keo,
I will.
at that level of a gym, like it's almost like a very high end like club. So
Yeah,
people are going to be asking for like
yeah,
access to the gym.
yeah. That's what I want. I want the natives to say, hey, look, this is the best gym that is in the country, or is at least in the city, and we want to come there too. And then I can kind of evaluate them and say, yeah, maybe you can come in, maybe not. But then, of course, I'll be screening. I'll be like, hey, she's kind of cute. I think this guy in the class will like her. Okay, you can go in. Okay, go ahead. Oh, you got some curves on you. There's another guy in the class I know will like you. Okay, you can come in. So I'll be I'll be playing this game, and I'll be like, okay, the women who I know would be good for us as a group, I'll let them into the gym for free. Also, you know, let's see what happens.
Hell yeah. And I'm the double to piggyback on what Theo's saying is like all of these like tropes that we've done a very good job in this space with the lexicon we built, um, pushing back on these misandrous narratives against men in general, black men in particular. Um, I like where the conversation is going because, like I said, you had Theo first starting with building a knowledge base from an intellectual, from an IP standard, and then now we're talking about infrastructure to whatever degree being built in another country and it being open to to the group, uh, and that's the level of conversation and that's the direction that things are going, and and so much of this shout out to Obsidian being birthed from the brainchild of Obsidian about being like, you know what, let's just do a conclave or a meetup and get all of these men together in one room, remove Keisha, and let's see what can be done with these different, aspects of the economy. Theo covering the IT. Now we've got some mental health stuff, fitness, your own image, in memory of Kevin, who was an image consultant. Um, so along those lines, you're seeing it play out in real life with the trope "black men don't build," etc., etc. So I say this all the time on the Sunday show. Um, the content in and of itself is important and useful because that's the media arm of it, right? Pushing back on the making our own narratives. But what's more important is the stuff that you don't see behind the scenes. Is that brothers of a certain ilk um,
Right.
are in communication, and like what you see on these channels is the tip of the iceberg. You have no idea that to the extent that moves are being made behind the scenes, brothers helping each other out, helping each other level up, skill up, and then providing real life support in terms of, when people are having existential crises, someone passes away, someone's in bad health. Like it's a real thing. We haven't seen anything like this with regard to the ability to connect, network, and to make positive influence on each other to this level in U.S. history. So it's a beautiful time to be alive, and that would attribute to why there are so many detractors and gaslighting and stuff because the, the argument could be made that they are afraid of this level of building and communication and stuff. because it is effective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, so let's talk about it. Right. So there are other things that we're talking about behind the scenes, which is if we can get enough of us into one area, can we have our own schools?
Facts.
Or can we integrate ourselves into the current school system that we could have a US based curriculum? But
Facts.
it wouldn't be this liberal crap. It would be traditional, old school, hardcore that we know black men can do.
Right.
And if they fight in school, they fight. It's okay. That's what boys are supposed to do. We're supposed to fight each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't give Xanax for that. We don't give drugs for that.
Yeah.
We push the black boys and we show them that they can do it. And then the fathers, there is no threat for black fathers to lose their children abroad.
Facts.
And when we get that over a 10 to 20-year time period, we're going to be able to show a complete difference of who we are versus the community.
Spot on. I'll piggyback on that as well. I think that's the trajectory that we're moving. This is what, class 6. I mean, so you did all the beta testing. We promote. I mean, I'm in the classes. I was in 5.5 and in 6. Like, and we're talking hundreds of students, and like the influx of people wanting to join. Passport OG in the building. Passport OG's in my class. Like a lot of your favorite content creators are in Theo's class. I told you I was with Andre yesterday. Me and Andre were talking about the class briefly. Andre's in the class. Kofa's in the class. This is real deal, and everyone's really pushing for it. But to piggyback on what you said, yeah, school curriculum, that's the trajectory it's going. And I want it to be just like you have it. I'm from the era where I mean, I went to public school, but I passed those tests and I got into all those magna gifted schools. But I went to Lehigh University, and when I went, the year I went, they had just started admitting women 3 years before I went. So Lehigh was like close to the toughest engineering school in the country, and all the old money went there. Like I went to school with when Dan Quayle was vice president. I went to school with Tucker Quayle. That was his son. We were like best friends. I had Secret Service detail and everything. So I was with senators' kids. That's the first time I ever heard trust fund, because everybody was a fucking trust fund kid. I didn't know what that was, and people used to always be like, "Oh, we're flying to Paris this weekend, and we just bought this," and I'd be like, and they'd be like, "Come on," and I'd be like, "Are you fucking serious?" They're like, "Well, why can't you just ask your parents to give you some money from your trust fund?" And I'd be like, "What the hell is this trust fund thing?" You understand what I'm saying? So that's the school I went to, and because they had just started admitting girls 3 years before I went. Like it still had that old school austere type environment. It was still catered to the curriculum and how the professors were. It was still like it was a boys' school, and it was like no joke. It was like sink or swim. I was in those engineering classes, and like we had a high suicide rate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
it
I
was so
know. Yes.
it was so brutal.
Yeah.
But the for black boys in particular, that's the type of school environment that you need. For black men in particular, and like I said, Theo. What's brilliant about Theo's class is it's like we have real world, real time data that no matter how old you are, what your background is, your level of computer experience, because he throws you right in, and then it's like you can learn this level of high level technology. It's not, there's a level of difficulty, but once you get past the fear factor, the key determining factor is the amount of time and effort that you are going to invest yourself. Because there's no, I don't get it, I can't. There's resources there. Whatever you don't get, you're in a group. People will stay up with you for 3, 4 friggin' hours on a Zoom call until you friggin' get it.
Yeah.
There's just no excuse. Like you failed the cert the first time. Well, there's like 20 to 30 to 100 guys who passed that cert in the group. You can reach out to any of them. Everyone gives you all their study materials. Like whatever you're stuck with, there's someone who will sit on a Zoom call with you ad nauseum until you get it. So much to the point where you're on these side Zoom calls that aren't even a class. Naaman was just saying this the other day, and like they will ad nauseum work it out with you. You'll be on there 8 hours. You be like, yo, I got to get off this goddamn call.
Machismo,
Yo,
Machismo, real
hmm?
quick. We got another guest in the building right here. Another
Irvin.
man that they claim don't exist. But before you shout out Irvin, hold up 1 second. 1 second. Let me get him to the stage. Guess what we got?
Oh, the ghost himself, Mr. Quiet Storm.
Good evening, fellas. Good evening. Good evening.
Okay,
You guys can hear me okay?
yeah, you play the role. Your voice sound good too.
Sensei, how you feeling?
Both my delts are injured, shoulder is injured. I got a concussion, but I'm kind of doing a little bit better right now. So I was in bed for most of the day. I decided to go ahead and get out here and talk a little bit. So it's kind of healthy for me. But yeah, I've been in bed. So just trying to, I'm on drugs. I'm on medication for this right now.
Good.
So yeah, I'm trying to recover.
Sensei, I hope you do understand that also means no lifting.
Oh, I'm not lifting at all. Oh, nothing. I told my trainer, I said, 100% no, I can't do anything. And I'm on concussion protocol right now. So I got people pinging me about every 4 hours to make sure I'm conscious or I'm okay. So
Yeah, I was
I
one
do
of
ping people. Yeah, you did that. I got all over. They're pinging me just to make sure I'm okay. So, but I mean, think about that. I mean, one of my stories I had at Conclave 3 was how when I had cancer, nobody was there and nobody helped me out at all. Nothing. And even I have this kind of a graphic story, but um, I had nobody was there to take me home after chemotherapy. I had to walk home by myself. And when I did that, one time I threw up and then I actually slipped in my own vomit and I collapsed and I actually had to pick myself up from there. And it's kind of a graphic story, but I was like, that's how alone I was. Like that's how vulnerable I was. And then to actually have a group of people who actually care about you, who actually at least say, like, how are you doing? Can we do something for you? Do you know how many guys have said to me so far, even though I'm a millionaire? I got people say, can we DoorDash for you? Right? Like, can we buy you something? And I'm like, no, I'm like, really, it's good. You don't have to do it. But I remember it that they even attempted that. I was like, nobody did that for me before. And I think that's one of the unintended consequences of or results of the class is that we have this community now. We actually care about each other. We're trying to do the best for each other. I wasn't even attempting to do this. This wasn't in my thought at all. So this is something that's like kind of like a bonus. I'm like, wow, okay, this is cool.
yo, solid. All right, we're gonna get this convo now that Storm is here because I messaged him earlier. I told him Naaman was gonna be on the panel, and we got an extra surprise with Theo being here. So we can double down on all the behind the scenes and whatnot. And this is gonna be it's been a great convo so far. I fell back, put my shit on mute and was listening too. Let's read these super chats. We got a $5 super chat from Mr. Irvin Reed, longtime channel supporter and member. He says, super chat goes support. My man. Oh, and look at this. Quiet Storm coming here, kicking his muddy boots on things. I owe all y'all a F all you hoes drop on Sunday. I got notes. Quiet Storm with $100 super chat. He says, support black male Meaty. I think we're almost 5 more, and we're almost at the super chat goal. Man, appreciate you, Quiet Storm. Appreciate you. All right. All right. Let's do we're gonna double back toward the end. I want Naaman to talk about to tell the Kevin Samuels story. And then I'll share mine as well. So that's apropos. We got everyone here. But Storm, last week on the check-in call, you came up and you were saying how the backstory, how I ended up down here. And actually, before I do that, let me say this to Theo, because I've said this numerous times. You weren't actually up here, but I mean, you were in the chat last week. But I would say to you now that you're up here, a big part, aside from Naaman and Quiet Storm providing a bulletproof plan, and the real big piece of the confidence to get down, basically to move to Colombia in 60 days, put everything in storage, and be like, screw it, and I've said this, is because I was in your class. I was in 5.5, grandfathered into 6. So in the back of my head, even though all of the finances aren't perfect and I'm risk adverse, the very fact that I did well in 5.5, you told me I did well, I passed Armageddon, and now I'm in 6, and now I got Naaman in the class with me too. So it's like I got, my backup study guy. A big part of the confidence to be like, just screw it, let me do it, is because I know one way or another, I'm going to be certed in GCP and AWS. It's just inevitable. So in the back of my mind, it was just like, well, I'm studying for the cert now anyway. I'll just study for it in Colombia. I'll test when I come back, either in February or whatever. And once I have the cert, I'm in contention for one of these 6-figure jobs remote. It's inevitable. So just having that like little piece to hold on to was like the little extra I needed to be like, all right, you guys, let's just do it. You know what I mean? And I just feel like if I wasn't in 5.5 and if I wasn't in 6, I wouldn't have had that extra little confidence with regard to long-term financial stability to be like, okay, yeah, why don't I pack up my entire life and just go? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't have been there. And so, like I said, so much of that is contingent on being in class. And since you're up here, I wanted to say it again. And Stoic Nomad with the $10 super chat, he said, heading back to Cali on Saturday, going to catch up with you. Yo, bro, leave your email either on the community tab or put it in the chat. I'll email you, bro. We'll link up in Cali. I'm right by Chippy Choppe Mall. Hell yeah. Nate's on his way back down here too. He hit me up. That's Quiet Storm's boy. He's a cloud. He's in cloud as well. So yeah, it's like a mafia. Yeah, he said, yeah, he's class 1. Yeah, like Theo's got like a IT mafia going on.
Yeah. So one of the good things is that if we're all friends, then if one of us loses a job, it's most likely that we can reroute that person to another job real quick. And exactly. I have recruiters reaching out to me and saying, how many people do you know? I got this, JD, can you help us find a candidate? And I actually show them students in the class who I think I can do the job. So me doing that, this is just the beginning. This is going to greatly expand over the next year. So one of the big projects that I'm working on for 2025 is for us to become a gold partner to AWS, and then also a partner to GCP, and then to help us get placed into certain jobs. And if I'm successful in that, then hopefully I can get like 25 to 30% of the class employed really quickly. So one of my big goals, but the thing is that for people who are doing the work, this will be a great reservoir. And then if you're abroad like you are, right, it gives you more confidence, because something does happen to you, I'd be like, hey, look, hey, don't worry, Matt Cheeseman, I can help you out. Like there's this other job coming 3 weeks from now. Don't worry about it. You're gonna get it. Everything will be fine, right? So this is the kind of networking that we need.
Well played. Storm, what you got for me, Playboy?
Yeah, so I'm here when I see my little homie. Salute to you, Native, in the chat. Appreciate what you did for Machismo. Um, you always come through for the call, and I'm about to just give him his credit. I've known Nate for almost a decade. Me and Nate was in the Navy together, and
Hmm.
everything that I'm saying right now, Nate can back it up. He had went to the original conclave, and like I said, that Nate was in Theo's first class. I call it the OG class, and every
Hmm.
time that I saw Nate after that, after he had got out of the Navy, um, I had just seen his attitude just change and him just grow. So Nate is kind of like Nate to me is like naming is to you, and just to see this man just change his whole appearance from what he was in the Navy and then outside of the Navy, just to see this man grow. And then when I sat there and I had just asked him for one favor, like I said last week, that man didn't even question me. He didn't ask me to pay him. He had just said, if he's good with you, he is good with me. So I got him covered. And then I didn't even ask him to follow up with you this time around, but that's how Nate is. He also met Naaman too up at the conclave one night. We all had hung out. Me, him, and Jules that went out with Nate. He had got to chop it up with us in Houston. He had laid out his plan to me, and once he gets settled down there officially, I'm gonna go probably head down there to Colombia and hang out with him to chop it up with him. It'll just be bringing back some old times. It's totally different than us sitting up there standing on watch, Nate. All of them times I understood that you got screwed over and you were pissed off and you wanted to get out of the Navy. That was the smartest thing that you did. Me, it took me a little bit longer, but then look at us now. Sitting up there, transitioning from that to being in Theo's class right now. Theo knows the backstory of how me and Naaman quietly planned your escape out of the Matrix Machismo through his class and whatnot. Um, but all it took, and it all started with you, Machismo, was that one text message that all of this got in motion. If it wasn't for you sending that text message and me getting it, me turning around my phone and showing it to Naaman, and then me meeting up with Nate that night, talking to him and working about his plan, and look at how it comes a full 360-degree circle. You're in Colombia right now, out of the States. Nate is in. Nate is headed back there. I'm sorry that I had missed him, but he understood why. You understand why Machismo, what happened with that. So since I missed him coming down here, I'm about to catch him as soon as I go down there, pretty much. But it all started with the conclave, with you telling me to link up with Naaman. I chopped it up with Naaman. We hit it off. We went out that night. We linked up with Nate. Um, he had met Nate, and we were sitting up there cooling and chopping it up, and that's when the plan started and went into motion. So everything that you needed from the time of you even thinking about leaving, you had no thoughts of leaving until where you are now. It started with that text message, and I'll leave it right there.
Yo, well played, and I'm glad I'm glad you told it that way. And like I said, we got Naaman and Storm up here, and that goes to my point that what I said earlier that yeah, Machismo TV is a brand. We do the content, we promote all the content, all the best, some of the best talking points in the space from all the creators. We kind of make sure everybody stays honest, but the real power of the channel is what we've been able to do in terms of networking and getting all quality productive brothers together and to operate on one accord, so much so that unbeknownst to me, you know, I have a friend that I know personally in Philadelphia. I know Quiet Storm from the network. I put them two together, and once again, all of this centers. Shout out to Obsidian. All of this centers around something that Obsidian built. ended up being the hub at the Manosphere Conclave. And then, like I said, it's almost like paying it forward. You put the good things out there, the you get the right men together in the right room, and then like stuff just happens spontaneously, and sometimes for your own good. Like, you know what I mean? And what world do you know grown men make plans for another man's life? And seriously do it off of a text message, plan it out, then pitch it to him. Then the other grown man, who's a stubborn prick, goes, you know what? Okay, all right, that sounds doable. But it's because it's a trust level and a respect level. And then, like I said, with Theo, they're all culminating in Theo's class. And like I said, if I wasn't in the class, from the purely from a financial standpoint, because that's all every man's concern. Like, where the fuck is the money coming from? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if it wasn't for, if I didn't have a level of confidence in terms of proficiency with the technology and changing over to the industry, like it would have been a fucking no go. And that was actually one of Naaman's selling points. Like, you're already doing good in the class. You're in class 6. He let you in class 6 for free. Just get the certs done. I'm in the class. I'll help you study. Like, what do you got to think about? You're good one way or another. You'll be making 6 figures by the end of 2025, and you've spent half of the year overseas. It's a win-win. And I was like, okay, you kind of got a point there. So, yeah. These channels are more than just content being spewed out every day. Productive black men are getting things done, and it's having a real world impact on people's personal lives. And as you all well know, we covered the election extensively. We are affecting the real world in terms of politics and everything else. I'll let my play there.
Yeah, piggybacking off of that was a great comment that you had. The really big thing's going to happen is when we start making families abroad. And when we start, all we have to do is, I've told several students, go abroad, get married, be happy. Then just go on YouTube and show other black men that you're happy. Show a wedding ring on your finger and that you're happy. Then don't bring her over. Don't bring her back to the States. But have a child and just talk about how happy you are as a father and that no one can take your child away from you. Just do that. When we do that, we control the narrative. It's done. No one will be able to assail that at all. And because I mean, the amount of men that'll be going abroad will just be huge. Because we're the trendsetter. We're the ones who set this up. So I know there's a lot of guys in the class who are totally horrified about this. I keep on telling them, when you do this and you make the family, you will change the lives of so many other black men back home. So go for it. Don't be afraid. It'll be all right.
Spot on. The contract, you want to jump up in this? It is your show.
My bad. My bad. I had to get the phone and reload everything up back again. But yes, it's my show. But this show was meant to cultivate the thoughts, ideas of the brothers. And it's my show, but it ain't my show. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the collective experience of everybody. That's why I do what I do with it. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4 brothers telling you it's a better option out there. And I'll be honest. Everyone already said everything I could possibly fucking say. And I was like, okay, well, shit. Y'all scraped everything off the plate. What can I say at this point? What can I say, bro? At the end of the day, the proof's in the pudding, and people need to see you putting in work and doing it and making it happen. Theo is a shining example of it. He made space and room for a whole lot of other brothers. Now, kind of like King Leonidas, my G, we behind you. We with you. We with you. We with you. Everybody getting kicked in the chest. Fuck that. I'm just saying. You gonna leave Theo alone, or we gonna? I'm trying to do better, not use certain
oh,
words.
oh yeah, we already started that campaign. What, season 3, season 4? You see, there ain't a lot of
No,
slick talk
no,
about
no,
Theo
no,
no
no,
more.
no,
Yeah,
no, 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 no. Everybody, shut up. It's the reason
yeah,
why.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
the reason why.
Me and Saul hunted
hmm
them down on their own territory. It got ugly.
Yeah. Then you got
Good.
individuals like my brother Quiet Storm coming up and just telling the truth. Passport OG. It can't be denied at this point. That's why I just got quiet and I backed up. Let the conversation flow and happen naturally. Because between Naaman, Theo, and now Quiet Storm, well, Quiet Storm and Theo, y'all don't exist, apparently, in so-called black culture. Y'all ain't real.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all ain't real. And Machismo, a little while, you won't be real either. Naaman, you kind of qualify, but you kind of don't. But you kind of do. But you kind of don't. So they gonna act like you don't exist either. Not him, not him. They believe that this ain't real, but it is. I'll put it to you like this: from what Machismo said, the work that goes on behind the scenes is real.
Yeah.
My brother Saul damn near saved my life, cause when my shit happened, when my bad event happened, it wasn't nowhere near as bad as Theo's, but it sucked. But I had too much money spread out uh, amongst too many states and miles and shit. And a nigga like me got, I shouldn't say, I'm trying to stop using the word. A person like me got stranded. Saul saved me, dog. You don't understand how serious this thing really is. You know what I'm saying? Until you have your event. That's why I push this so hard. Cause at the end of the day, my brothers, we move mountains, man. And I rely on you, you rely on me, I got you, you got me, and that's all we need. And we make things happen. And Keisha ain't nowhere in the mix. She ain't.
No. 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 You don't know idea how many Keishas I'm trying to get in the class.
Oh yeah, talk
Uh,
about that. Yeah, go
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
talk about that, Theo.
They try to get in, they try to do this and that. And I'm like, no, we got guys. That's why we have the vetting process. We actually have to have people's on the cam, and people come up sometimes and it's a woman. And I'm like, sorry, it's gone. This is over. Boom, death sentence. I'm not playing around with you. And my view, I noticed this when I was in grad school the second time. If you give $120,000 a year to a man, he'll play the field a little bit, but most likely he's going to get married and have 1.2 kids or 2.2 kids, something like that. And his wife will make a little bit of money on the side, but he'll pay for everything. If you give $120,000 a year to a woman, a Western woman, she'll go around saying all men ain't ish. She'll be passed around, and she'll most likely, at best, become a single mother. So I sat back and I was like, why are we doing this? Let's just train the men, because you get social stability. And I have that, and again, in the class, I'm like, it has to be the men. It has to be the men noticing that they can rely on each other, because black men, if there's a black woman around, will defer to her.
Facts.
And that could not happen. I said, no, you are the man. You stand on your own. You can do this. It's not hard to do. And you see that culture I have, right? Now,
Facts.
how many students stand on their own now? Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I said I was gonna do this as we move forward. Let's circle back on what we were talking about initially, the naming. We brought up Kevin, and I'll say something about Kevin also, because a lot I say this to Naaman a lot, like I say it to Saul, because like stuff will be happening, and I'll be like, man, this is just like what Kevin said. Like Kevin was right about this. Um, so even me being down here, this is like part of one of Kevin's maxims when he used to be like, "You need your wolf pack." You need your high value men in general. You need you need a group of quality guys around you because they'll keep you, one, they'll baseline you, and then two, they'll keep you honest. And there's a level of positive reinforcement where it's like you're not allowed to fall off. Like they know you, you know them. You're both productive, man. So they expect a certain level of performance from you, even when you're down. Do you know what I mean? Um, and Naaman and Saul in particular, they saw me fight my way back through because I never like I said, I've been in banking for 13 years. Like banks, like if you're in banking, bro, you technically, and you're like you're a back office like I was, like it's like the mafia. Like you never don't not have a job. Like it's damn near impossible. So like this trend, it just caught me completely off guard. Uh, no one in their wildest imagination would think that Biden would be able to do this to the economy. Like it's just, it was on no one's radar. But when the Kevin Samuels part, because Naaman, like I said, Naaman was is Pakistani. He wasn't born in the States. Um, Naaman has told me the story before about like how when he found Kevin Samuels online, how it essentially changed his life. From a sartorial standpoint, and everything else from Outlook. So, like, Naaman, if you want to briefly uh, tell that, because we touched on it earlier, but let's go full circle with that. And I think it's important because I want to double down and reinforce Kevin's global influence on people. The black man, we claim him because he was ours. He had an effect on everyone globally. Like, well, we knew that while he was still alive. But like I said, the happenstance of making friends with Naaman at a cigar lounge, him being Pakistani, and then us actually developing a friendship about around both of us being influenced by Kevin. Like you can't make that shit up. Do you know what I'm saying? So, Naaman, go ahead. Like if you can briefly tell the version of the story you told me, and then we'll double down on this Kevin Samuels shit.
Yeah. So 2015, when I graduated from college, um, I struggled a lot with understanding what was going on with the society itself. And for some reason, I always felt like something's wrong with me because, like, just being here, just things were just not adding up to me. And it wasn't until 2017 when I enrolled in business school. And when I was in business school, I was seeing some issues that I was just trying to figure out from more of an optics standpoint. And that's where I ran into Kevin Samuels because when Kevin started his channel, he was more on image than he was addressing some of the other issues. So that is how I found Kevin. And then I was religiously just like watching his videos to understand some of the things that I wanted to improve in from a personal image point of view, because that has a lot of effect on your daily social life plus your career. So being in business school and some of the things that I was trying to achieve to like elevate in corporate America, I was doing, and Kevin was kind of that type of person who was in corporate America and understood corporate America. So he was giving certain points that I would say was starting to like click with me as to what I need to do. Eventually, Kevin started talking more about people and community and some of the issues that are happening. And that's when I would say all the pieces of the puzzle started to like just click together. And I started to understand that there is nothing wrong with me. I just grew up differently. I had different set of values, and I just happened to be in a society where my values and the values here have a clash, and there's nothing wrong with me. So when I started to realize that, that is when like wearing the suit actually was not the suit wearing me, but me wearing the suit started to happen. And my mentor at that time, who was also the person coaching me at work, started to tell me that he's like, I'm really proud of you. And I was like, why? What happened? What did I do? And he said, I see a change in you, and I'm telling you that you're going to go like up fast, and that's when within my company, like within that year, like I got a major promotion, and then from that promotion I jumped two other steps, and within the corporation that I work in, they started having these discussions amongst management that I was this person jumping up too fast. But part of that was because I took Kevin's advice to heart, and I just, I did what needed to be done, and I led with that image as well, because when you're doing all these things um, harmoniously, like there is no other thing that could happen but success. So that's how I just understood, like, okay, Kevin just was that person that I guess if my father was around, like, like I would have gotten that advice, and like I would have like succeeded, like without all these obstacles I had to jump over. So I was just, if there is one person in my life I could give a lot of credit to, is Kevin, because Kevin allowed me to like go from arithmetic to to like calculus 4. Like
Yeah.
my life trajectory totally changed, and even to this day I carry those lessons with me, and because of that my networking improved, my salary improved, my overall life improved, my social life improved, my communication improved, and it just targeted all the areas of my life to make me a better person.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Kevin, for me, very much emphasized the point that the network was so important. And so before I started listening to Kevin, I had the network, and it was how I got the $300,000 a year. It would have been impossible. And I always said the reason why I was homeless for a while in 2011 was because I didn't have a network. So I really emphasized the network. So when Kevin was talking, and people couldn't believe that I made $600,000 a year, I recognized that these people were not networked. They didn't have that ability to talk to other people who were making money. And so one of the purposes of the conclave, the first one, was to start creating the network. And I knew that if I took everybody to a classy place, and I said, "This is who we are. This is our level. All right. It's not gonna, we're not at low places. This is a high level place. Over $200 a night for the hotel room. This is who we are." And I set the stage there, and it has worked ever since. We respect each other, and we're a part of each other's network. And this has got to continue on to the future. Is one of the fundamental parts of the conflict.
Spot on. Well played, both of you. You told that story well, Naaman. Contractor, put these we got two super chats. Can you put them on the screen for me? Mr. Irvin Reed with the $5 super chat. He said Theo's level of F all you hoes is over 9,000. Man zone tax. Hashtag LLTHLS and hashtag NIW. Next one, please. Red Lion with the $2 super chat. He says, salute. Thank you, sir. Hey, guys, we're two super chats away from the goal. Perfect. Guys, that was the piggyback by Theo is perfect. Namely, told the story exactly perfect. And that's what I wanted to, what Naaman just said. That's and Passport OG put it on the screen too. I had to put it in the chat. He said that nothing is wrong with me is real. Exactly. And that's exactly. That's from Naaman's story. And I had wanted Naaman to tell the story. One, because he's Pakistan, he's not an American black, and he was born overseas. And I wanted him to tell that story because it illustrates, like, the propaganda against Kevin and against his influence is that, oh, it was all these broken black men and he's catering to the lowest common denominator. And that's more so because his message was fearful and it was empowering for men in general. But to have someone who was a non-black man, not born in the United States, basically recount his story and then Theo piggyback on it, and it'd be the same, what do you call it, through line or theme in terms of the level of influence and why his message and how he comported himself was influential, and how it actually, what do you say, had a direct quantifiable impact on individuals' lives.
Mhm.
That's a middle finger to all of the naysayers, and it doubles down for all of the brothers that are pretty much on this path, um, and have seen radical influences in their life because of the conversations we're having down here, etc. Naaman with a $2 super chat. He said, "We the men do saving Private Ryan every day." Facts. David with the $2 super chat. Yo, Storm, you want a piece of that?
Yeah, pretty much. So Kevin, for me, I found Kevin in 2017, and I quietly watched him, and I didn't really say much for about 2 years, but just listening to him. I was faithfully watching his stream when he was going in upon the men, and when I say going in on the men, he was Hulk smashing, going in on the men, like with no care, ruthlessness, kind of like my father does to me. Truth be told, some of the stuff that he said, it really brings me back to kind of like a scene up in the movie Temptations, when it was right at the end of the movie and they all had linked back up, and they were kind of like doing this reunion tour, and they had just finished a practice scene, and like Otis was sitting up there telling them like, we can do better, we need to step up the game. And like David Ruffin kind of looked at him and he said, hey, you've been hard on us, some of us need that. Kevin was kind of like that that uncle, that big brother, that godfather, however it is you want to call it, based on your age and whatnot. He had kind of gave you that raw and uncut truth, but he had gave it up in a way that you really look at yourself from within. And I had to do a hard look at myself. I was right at the end of my military career. I was figuring out what I wanted to do with my life, and how I wanted to find kind of like a purpose, because half of my life I was known for taking orders. I was known for being told what to do. I had people's lives in my hand, and I had lives. They had my lives in their hands and whatnot. So he kind of gave me the image to really step my game up and to be a positive role model, and to be a representative for people who was younger than me, so I could teach back and to look up to kind of be that big brother and whatnot. And when he shifted over to the women, it was kind of like that thing to where they weren't ready for it. So it was kind of like a shock to the system that they weren't ready for. It's kind of like as soon as you flatline and they give you that machine to bring you back to life, they weren't ready for it. But I've traveled all over the globe, both in the military as well as outside of the military, and I see brothers that is kind of like Naaman, and other ones from Australia, from the UK, from Japan, from Southeast Asia, from South America, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, the Middle East and whatnot. And just to see, this is one of the main reasons why Kevin got so big, because a lot of brothers that is non-black was also able to relate to what Kevin was saying. And Kevin used to say things that people in the corporate world like myself could not say up on the job. He was able to say it because he owned his own, he had ran his own business, and you couldn't fire him. So he was actually a voice basically of what every brother was saying. And it was an honor for me to moderate for him. I still moderate for his channel to this day, and I keep his name alive as much as I can, because that man, with his words and his wisdom, his advice, made me quadruple my salary in 3 years, and make me a better person as far as to be a big brother for my family, to be a better role model for people who I led and I guided in the combat wars in the military, and to also to give back to people. So so I know that Kofo is going to listen to this upon replay, but he had mentioned this up in his stream the other day. They um so a lot of my work that I do is quietly behind the scenes, and I do it that way because it's more effective, not because I want to hide and stuff like that, but the impact, and I want people to feel it. So I'm not really a big out in front person as far as being a content creator and making content and whatnot. Not I'm more effective behind the scenes, and I put not only my input, my money where my mouth is, but then also the recommendations for it. And Kevin was kind of like a big part of that, and when I saw what happened when he died, that was a turning point for me. Me and Nate had talked about this when we had lunch one day. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm done with my life. I've been in the U.S. now. The only thing I need to do is just find me an outlet to where I can do something else outside of the U.S. And then lo and behold, I didn't even know that Nate went to the conclave in 2021. I was kind of mad at him a little bit. He didn't tell me, but I understand why he had did it. And he didn't know stuff like that. And he didn't even know that I watched the same type of content creators that he did. And then lo and behold, one day I saw Nate up in Kevin Sandwich chat one night while he was actually doing a stream. And I called him and I hit him up and I was like, I didn't know that you watch Kevin Sandwich. He was like, yeah, I do. And I watch him too. I was like, holy shit. Holy shit. Great minds like think alike. And when I saw what they did to Kevin and how mainly black women showed us their collective asses to kiss after all that Kevin did was just try to help them as well as he helped men, I was like, I'm done. And the conclave was kind of like my opportunity. And once I'm set on something, I don't want to let it go until I see it all the way through. Theo is providing us with an outlet to where we can sit here and escape the matrix. Machismo is living proof, so I got proof sitting right in front of me. Nate's in the chat too. He can confirm this as being one of his original students. So I got confirmation of everything that Theo does. It works. You can see it evidence wise, not on this stream, but I also go back to El Guapo stream right before the conclave it went down. The only thing that Theo did was kind of set the stage and let his students just come up and just tell all their stories. And that pretty much sold it for me. So that's pretty much my evidence as far as Kevin. And I kind of wish I could have met him right before he died. I had a consultation set up with him 2 weeks after he had died, and I missed it. So I was never able to get that chance to at least talk to him, to ask him questions, to have him drill me and dissect me. But what I can do is I can take what I learned from him, and I still continue to learn from his day because he still streams on his channel, and take what I learned and pay it forward to somebody else. I learn one and I teach 10. And I land my plane there.
Well played, sir. And I'm going to piggyback on something you said. We're going to roll it over to the naming at the tail end of this Contractor. You want a piece of this Kevin Samuels thing? As a matter of fact, let's read these super chats before you we hit our goal. Perfect. Let's read these super chats before you piggyback on this Kevin Samuels thing, and then I want to go over the naming because I want him to tell this. I didn't know this. Since we got Theo up here, I'm gonna double down on this gay bay nonsense. Uh, we already did Red Lion. We did that one. Pull up the next one. There we go. All right, let's go. We'll take it from here. Naming the homie naming with the $2 super chat. He said Kevin was the father figure most of us needed. And I'm glad you said that because a talking point from the Keishas is like, oh, that's your daddy. But black men need a daddy because they ain't got no fathers. But name is Pakistani and he had his father. So there is some truth in this statement that resonates. Urban Reed with the $5 super chat. He says, supporting my interests and yours, whether you believe it or not. Don't keep hope alive. Make hope living and tangible. Spot on. And love crossing borders. Andre in the building. I hung out with Andre yesterday. I'm gonna post a couple photos. He brought cigars, so I got my first cigar pouring photograph to post on the community tab, courtesy of Andre in Colombia. Because believe it or not, this is not really a heavy cigar smoking country. They smoke cigarettes. I was disappointed. Hold on, let me read it. It says heading back to Cali Saturday. Oh no, that's not it. It says shout out to Theo in class 6. That's right. Andre from Love Cross the Borders is in Theo's class as well. So what? We got 3 people in your class on the panel. We got Nate from class 1, Passport OG, Andre in the chat. So yeah, uh, Theo's surrounded by his students here. Contractor, you could take the KS joint, and then we're at the 2-hour mark. I want to end it with a name and Trash and Gabe.
I'll tell you like this. That man showed me more information that I ever got from an uncle, a cousin. Um, I ain't had no pops, so that whole part was dead right there. And being a six, like I was at that time. I was a 6-figure earner, acting like I worked at McDonald's or something. Like I can't explain it though. Like my mindset was just way jacked up, and he gave me clarity as to what the situation really is and how a large majority of Keisha and them will never make that much money. But they'll, even if you do, they'll talk to you as though you ain't doing too much. So I didn't realize how valuable I was, and that part messed me up because I, I just didn't, bro. I didn't. Um, I appreciate his work and everything that he put out there. And for all if I, no, I'm trying to be a better, be a better person and not use so many curse words. But if a bitch couldn't crack her lips to say, okay, well, that was your daddy, well, bitch, where's yours? Have you ever had one? Do you even know what it looks like? So if you can't define it, then what the fuck do you mean, though? But at the end of the day, Kevin helped a lot of brothers see their value. I'm one. I am one, man. And leaving this place is my it's my goddamn goal. Cause there's no light to be found around this bitch. It's nothing. You can have children but you don't own them. They're not yours. It was your seed that came out of you and went into her, but the state says they own her, so that means they own a child. At the end of the day, the Americas is not the place you want to be. And you have living, breathing proof in front of you that there's another life that you can choose. But you got to choose that shit. You got to. Because Keisha and them, they ain't never going to just give it to you. Hell no. Nah. No, sir. That ain't never going to happen. So I'm thankful to have brothers of your caliber and quality on the panel and on the show. That way we can flush out all the bullshit. Cause yet again, at the end of the day, I can say get your blue book and go all day long, and some people take it serious, others not so much. But the end results ain't. It's not good. It's not good. So Kez helped me see the value in me, not a raggedy ass, nothing ass. I may be getting EBT and food stamps, having ass bitch. So it is what it is.
Mhm.
Well,
And
why
there
don't
you
you? My apologies. It
and
is
there
what it
you
is.
have. Wait. We got Tevin King in the building. We got a super chat from Tevin King, longtime channel supporter and member. Tevin King with the $10 super chat. He said, "I'm 2 hours late for the stream. Damn it, Uncle Theo and International Quiet Storm on the panel. Man, I hate you two for not sending out the notifications. Yo, I'm gonna post something on the community tab about that too. Yeah, we getting a little they pushing our numbers down on the channel. I read my metrics. I see what's going on. The replay game tonight is going to be lit. Yes, it is. Shout out to Tevin King, man. He been holding us down since he found the channel. I forget what season it was. So uh, people like him help us motivate us to keep making the content because he's a hardcore supporter. Jay Fleming in the chat. I see you, Playboy. Jay Fleming is another one of Theo's students, and he be flexing hard on TikTok or Facebook. I see you, man. And lifting heavy weight too. And lifting heavy weight. Um, Naaman. This is a true story. So Naaman didn't know that me and Saul um me and Saul had a vendetta with on Gay Babe for talking trash about Theo out of nowhere. Like we just took it personal. I forget what night Theo came up on our panel, and I brought it up, and I was like, all right, well then we bark on him for you, right? So Naaman didn't know this. So Naaman actually had called me. I think it was like last week or recently anyway, and we were talking about the class, and he was like, yo. He was saying he was on somebody else's stream and Theo was there, like it was a bunch of students from the class. And he was like, "Yo, do you know this Gabe A guy?" Then he was like, "Do you know this Gabe A guy?" Yeah, he was in the chat talking on his trash. Like, who is this guy? Right? And then that's what I told David. I was like, nah. I was like, yo, me and Saul been going that game for a while to stop talking trash about Theo with the class and try to down talk the class and everything. So it's funny because, like I said, Dave don't even know like all of the stuff going down here. And he was like, yo, he was on the phone like, who's this Gabe A guy? It was this guy in the chat. He was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, we was going. He was like, this guy's a clown. David, tell the Gabe A story.
No. So what happened was I was just doing homework, and um, a message popped up on our Facebook group page by Theo. Theo's like, "Yeah, I'm in IP's live stream right now. You guys should come in." And I was like, "All right, let's go see," because Theo doesn't normally like be on Facebook talking about IP. So end up going on to the live stream, and there's this guy just talking nonsense about some CompTIA bullshit. And first of all, it didn't make any sense that why would you be on somebody's else stream trying to advertise or market whatever you're trying to sell, and people on that platform have not approved you for doing that. That just itself is just like just bad. That's just not like the right way of going about doing things. But anyways, so I noticed like there were a couple people who were supporting him in the chat, but like there were too many of us in the chat, so we were just like, "Yo, get that shit out of here! Like go somewhere else." So it was just really funny. This guy was just harping on like making personal insults and personal attacks, and then just saying spewing garbage. And everybody in the chat is like, "What are you talking about, dude? Like." talking about some CompTIA bullshit course to take for like this much money. Like, just get out of here. And then yeah, just people just stopped paying attention to him, and then I don't know, he just left the chat.
No, he was booted
Yeah,
because
that's right. He made that personal attack, and on which IP was like, no, I'm not gonna let that shit
yeah,
fly.
yeah. He started talking about my Japanese wife's death, and IP went right after him, and I was like, that's good. I was happy about it because he was one of the people I fought with the most when I started making Conclave 1. And he was like, gotta do CompTIA, you gotta do all this crap. And I kept on saying, CompTIA is the way to make a job which will be outsourced to India. So we don't do that. What you do is you get a job that's going to stay here in America. Okay? So that's how it works. Okay? So this is the way we're going to do it. And yeah, he is a kind of crap. And so he and I used to go at it for hours because the way I was thinking about it was I was fighting for you guys. I knew that you guys could do it. You just needed some instruction. That was it. And especially when I was seeing what Kevin Samuels was doing, I was like, we have a space, we have an opening to make this with black men. Let's go for it. And then you got this wimp boy talking this crap. I was like, oh, yeah. Well, you're glad you're not in Texas because I teach you something here. This is, there's no way you talk about black men that way that they can't do it. But all they could do is CompTIA at the most. They have to depend on you. Oh, they ain't nothing. So I fought with him, and then I fought with him again. I fought with him again. And yeah, so it was good when you guys came in. I was happy because I was like, I don't even want to deal with this. But we have to because he's going to come in there and try to get people to do CompTIA and charge $4,000 per pathetic course. How many certs are you able to get in my class? What, for $375 right now? And then classes 1 through 4 were free. Class 5 was $60. Ooh, who cares? Right? I barely charged anything. And this guy's charging over like $4,000 for a CompTIA course that ain't worth anything. They are crap. Come on.
That's why I keep saying Thea does the IT evangelical work, and Agent Smith, aka Gabe, just wants everybody to be stuck in the matrix. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to get through this transit gateway and get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
All right, and I wanted Naaman to say that because Theo's always like, CompTIA. Oh, so you want to be selling toilet paper and married to Keisha, huh? Right? So and so so you guys hear Theo say that, you know what I'm saying? So it could be taken as like, oh well, because if you're not in IT, like, okay, well, maybe Gabe has a point, and Theo's trying to defend his position. Well, one, Theo's already got all the KPIs and the stats and the quantifiable data. But I wanted Naaman to say, because it was just a sincere out of the blue call. He didn't even know that me and Saul have been trolling Gabe for like months. That's why he's, you know what I'm saying, showing up wherever he was at and like harassing him in the chat. But
let me share this with you guys. Hold on. Let me share with you this. So in my organization, there is currently a team that does CI/CD pipeline work, and they do containerization. The person who is the lead engineer in the group, she is my friend, and she's also my friend's girlfriend. And she told me herself that her manager was actually asking her to go take the cert for SAA, and they were paying her like, hey, we want you to go do that. And she was like, I don't have the time to do it. But the reason why I'm trying to bring this up is that even in like defense sector, like they are pushing like certain certs which are still like SAA certs or certs in general. Like if you're in class 6 or 5.5, Theo talks about that you should go get it. Like nobody I hear like from management's telling like, hey, go get CompTIA.
No. That's entirely correct. That's the thing. So I know if you want the job, this is what you need to do because I know the market here. And then I was like, okay, do we have the materials so that I could teach it? And then can I lead you through? I was like, yeah, this is the opportunity. They got a bunch of black men who are willing to do the work. I was like, oh yeah, why should we be importing people? Let's have these guys do it. So that's how I started. That's really how it was, and it's been really fruitful, right? And yeah, you guys are seeing that I'm not playing around. I'm giving you the high level stuff. Then I'm respecting you at the same time, and then I'm saying you can also do it. And based upon that, I want to say this: Group 6 has the lowest level of imposter syndrome than any other class. And I think that's because there's so much support. There's so many guys who are certified, who have done it, who can talk about it and give examples, and will lead them through. It's absolutely amazing. So hats off to the class. They're really doing a great job.
Spot on. And I wanted Naaman to tell the story and to speak on I wanted him to speak with the same disdain for CompTIA that Theo did, so you know that Theo's got no ulterior motive, and then also because Naaman's not. I mean, Naaman watches all of these channels and everything, but like you know how the crux of us are down in the chats arguing with people, like you know the So it was outsider having the impression of Gabe that we have. So you see that it's not insider baseball. He's goofy, bro. He's goofy. You feel me?
Mhm.
And Naaman is echoing the same sentiment that Theo has. Like, bro, CompTIA, forget about it, bro. Forget about it. Irvin Reed with $5 super chat. He said, when you make FD signifier look like one of us, you're on the wrong side of history. That's hilarious. All right, guys, we're at the 2 hour, 23-minute mark. Hell of a show. Third check-in show. This was Contractor's idea, and it is turning out to be a beautiful piece of content and a pleasant surprise still popping up. uh, Naaman and Quiet Storm. So this is all right. This is starting to become a thing. This will be a mainstay. My entire stay down here in Colombia, and it looks like I may be in Brazil for 3 months. So then we'll do check-in calls from Brazil. But we wanted to do something a bit more personable, without all the bells and whistles. Um, that sounded more like a telephone call with friends talking, and that you guys could get them some behind the scenes of what's actually going on in everyone's life. And like we did from the beginning, tying Theo's class into it and promoting his class and the work that he's doing. Because for myself personally, I'm not really, there's a strong argument to be made that I'm not in Colombia had I not taken Theo's class, with regard to having the confidence for the starts. And in addition, Quiet Storm meeting Naaman haphazardly, almost butterfly effect like, uh, and them coordinating the exit via Theo's class, also, which in turn goes all the way back to Obsidian and his idea for the conclave. Um, so what we've built down here in this space collectively is nothing to sneeze at, brothers. High level skills, high level paychecks, people getting passports and traveling. It's real and you can touch it. Contractors, it's all yours, sir. Oh shit. Contractor then dropped off the stream. All
Ah,
right. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Naaman.
I just want to say, one of the things, since I've been watching these streams, that I appreciate you and Contractor doing is to actually bring like regular people on the call, like how we are here right now, because this is the proof of the concept itself that what is going on is just not talk. Like you have people who are here doing this and living it, so it's not just talk that you just log into the stream, just hear people talk about it, but it's actually people working on it, doing it, and living it. So I hope more and more people can come on these streams and give their testimonies and talk about, like, look, this is what I have accomplished, this is where I am, this is where I was. So people who maybe, thinking that, hey, I can't do it, I'm not going to make it, life is over, or whatever that they're thinking, that the ditch they are in, that they cannot get out, they can see that and you look at like, okay, it's just not taught. I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to push myself.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. I think that's Nate in the chat. Nate said he gonna hop on the panel next time. All right, bet. So he'll hop on the next check-in call. So all right, good. We'll have Nate, Quiet Storm naming up here. All right, that's the mafia right there. Good. Good contractor, you back. Good. You can get closing statements for everybody and wind it up however you like, sir. It's your show. Contractor?
Listen, can you hear me?
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Okay. Myself personally, I enjoy listening to the statements, everything that was said. It it gives you a sense of hope and like, you know what? Maybe it ain't got to be like this. But I got four brothers on a panel that shows you like, yo, your life could look way different than it does currently. And these are my brothers. Like earlier I said I'm stuck. I'm not really stuck. I got to do something before I leave. That's all. But at the end of the day, it how can I put it? The correct words. It tickles my fucking fancy to shit on Keith. You bitches lied. Y'all lied. Y'all lied like a motherfucker. Y'all lied like a motherfucker. These dudes don't exist. Yes, we do. We do. We fucking do. At the end of the day, all you did was lie. Make you feel better. But Machismo is still down in Colombia. Quiet Storm, I don't know where the hell you at. You be everywhere around the world. Naming, I don't know where you at. And Theo, I'm not quite sure where you at. At the end of the
Hospital.
day, oh, there you go. It's real. And to get on here and chop it with y'all that shit is refreshing because it invigorates me to keep striving harder and not giving up. But Machismo, thank you. Naaman, thank you for telling your story. Quiet Storm, as always. Big bro, it's a pleasure. And Theo, the big dog around here, buying 500 plus $1,000 worth of gym equipment. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And I
Because
just want to
brothers need
add
to see it.
something. And I just want to add something. As you can see, from class 1 to now class 6 and still growing, I just want to say that, um, as a group, and also you could say as a brotherhood, we are not just growing in one direction. We are growing in multi directions, because there are people who are going to be in Brazil. There are going to be people who are going to be in Colombia. Some people are going to be in like Southeast Asia. People are going to be all over the world. And being a part of a group like this or a network like this allows you that if you travel, just like when you watch those Mission Impossible movies or those super spy movies, that you go travel to another country and you have a whole group of people there waiting, that if you need any support or help, they're there for you. So this is part of the group that the network gives you access to, where whatever you decide to do, wherever you want to go, some of us are going to be there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As always, brothers, it's been a pleasure and an honor to just sit back and listen to y'all speak, man. And you're living it and you're walking it. You ain't just talking it, you're living it and walking it every day. And I think that's what a lot of brothers need right there. That example to be put out there for them. That way they can see it. It's real. This shit is real. And I, myself personally, I think, well, that no. I say for next week. That that'll start a whole nother conversation. And like it would be like the mother folks 6 hours in and we still talking and shit. Y'all brothers be easy. Have a great night. And I'm gonna drop everybody down and I'm gonna shut the shit down.
All right, guys, check and call again next week, and then Sunday, as you guys know, Sunday streams are back on. Um, thanks, Contractor. I think this is actually our best check and call yet. So Theo, you should pop up again next week. And Nate said he gonna get up on a call too. So you got somebody from class one. Yeah, this is good, and I really I like the way that we doubled down and put some meat on the bone with what Theo's got going on, because I haven't seen anything like it in my lifetime. And I think this is, what do they say? Big things have small beginnings. Um, this is, I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be, it already is global. Jay Fleming's in Brazil, flexing crazy. I'm over here in Colombia. Nate's in Colombia. Like, Theo's students get the money, they get the certs, and they get the planes, bro. That's real shit.
Yeah, I'll be in Spain in April and
Hell
Colombia.
yeah.
And
Hell
then
yeah.
I'll be in Brazil also this year. So yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to have to try and link up with you in one of these countries. Name until we're all trying to time it. Name is going to bed. He's got to get up and go early to work, and he's got his what are your 9:30, 10 o'clock scrum? Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna suck. Oh, David, sorry, bro. Oh man. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and drop. So hey, thanks for having me on here. It was good. Yeah, I should go lay down because my abdomen is starting to hurt again. My ribs are starting
All
to
right,
hurt.
cool,
So
man. I'm glad you showed up, and I'll give you the heads up when we do the check and call again next week. Thank you to
sure.
everyone.
See you.
Peace, brothers. Peace, peace, peace. All right, well, there you have it. I'm left with good old pit master's privilege, and I get to say the last few words. Everybody that doubted, fuck y'all. Yeah, fuck y'all. I'm still me. Hold up, Nate. Let me take it down. I don't want you associated with the bullshit. All right, there we go. So, yeah, for everybody that doubted, fuck y'all. My brothers are moving behind the scenes, and we're making shit happen. See, I think part of their whole plan was to keep us fighting and bickering. That way, we don't never get shit accomplished. But it's happening any goddamn way, cause we don't need Keisha no more. You gonna find you something, but it ain't got to be her, cause Keisha can wreck a nation if you leave her to her own devices. It is what it is. It's your brother, it's your boy, it's your cousin. For some, I'm older than you. It's your uncle. I ain't trying to take nothing from you. I just want to make sure you get the information needed. That way you can move forward in a positive direction, man. And we'll be back at you in the morning. All simple shit, man. It's all simple shit. But thank you to my brothers for coming up. And yeah. I'm sleepy. I don't know about y'all, but I'm about to knock smooth out. Y'all have a good night. And hope I don't strangle my neighbor for being rude earlier. But we'll see how it all works out, shakes out in the morning. All right. Peace, y'all. We out.